We're joined now by Craig McCartt. He is the Deputy Chief of Criminal Investigations for the Indianapolis Police. Have all the victims been identified? Have the families been notified?
So, no, unfortunately, we are still processing the crime scene.
Yeah.
And part of that processing, obviously, is also identifying all of the victims. And so we have not done that yet. We're working with families. We have a reunification center right now that's up and running at a nearby hotel. We have our victim assistance units there to assist in that process. But the crime scene processing it takes time. It's lengthy. And certainly as part of that, we're going to get the victims identified as quickly as we can so that we can get those families notified. And they've certainly had some uncertain hours, so we're working to do that as quickly as we can.
Yeah, I understand. Do you know how many people were injured and what condition they're in at this moment?
So the last that I knew, we had 4 people who were taken from the scene with gunshot wounds. Another person who was transported from the scene with some other sort of wound, possibly from shrapnel. And I believe at this time, all of those victims are stable.
The shooter reportedly died by suicide. Do we know anything about the shooter at this point? Do we know anything about a possible motive for this?
No, again, we're in the same boat kind of with him as we are with the victims, because we have not finished processing the scene. We have not identified him. And obviously, until we identify him, we can't really start digging into a motive or anything like that too much.
Do we know what type of weapon he used?
We believe that he had some sort of a rifle.
Was the shooter already deceased when you arrived?
My understanding is, we're still trying to confirm this. My understanding was that he had already taken his own life when officers entered the facility.
Mm-hmm. What do you see happening now, Deputy Chief? How long do you think before we'll have our next update on this, and how much longer do you think you need to be processing this scene?
Well, again, with multiple victims like this and a crime scene, a part of the crime scene was outdoors, part of it was indoors. So there's a lot of processing that needs to take place. That needs to be completed before we can really jump into the other part of the investigation, which is looking into the suspect and looking into those possible motives that we spoke about earlier that we just don't have an idea right now. So it's certainly going to take some more hours to complete that, and I don't expect to really have any more significant information until probably later this afternoon at the earliest.
All right. Deputy Chief Craig McCartt with the Indianapolis Police Department, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.